Ever had one of those days where every creaking floorboard, every rustling leaf sounds like a damned nightmare? Well, that was me, Dan Roberts, 23-year-old college student, living it up on a weekend alone in my childhood home. With the rents away on a much-needed vacation, I was looking forward to binging some of my favorite shows and eating my weight in chips. But, hell, did things take a turn. Friday evening, the sun was setting, and the house fell into the shadows. It was then when I first heard it. A soft thud. Like a football bouncing on the grass, faint but noticeable. I frowned, hit pause on the remote, and listened. The sound came again, closer, like it had hit the back porch. The hair on the back of my neck bristled. I shook my head, chiding myself. Pull yourself together, Danny boy. I went to the kitchen, deciding to make myself a coffee. God knows I needed caffeine to combat the paranoia. I tried to chalk up the noise to some neighborhood kids playing around. But then I saw it, the back porch bathed in the harsh glow of the motion sensor lights. My heart pounded in my chest as I moved closer to the window. Scanning the yard, I found no signs of life. Then, I spotted something out of place, something that sent a cold shiver down my spine. It was a football, my old football, lying abandoned near the back steps. Who the hell was in my backyard? I gripped the phone, ready to dial 911, when I saw a shadow dart across the yard. Before I could process it, the door handle jiggled. I jumped back as if bitten, fear surging through me. I watched, paralyzed, as it jiggled again, more insistently this time. Whoever it was, they were trying to get in. Screw this. I muttered, adrenaline pumping. Dialing 911, I retreated to the living room, praying for the operator to pick up. But as I was put on hold, the house fell ominously silent. No more jiggling door handle, no more thuds. Then the power went out. Plunged into darkness, I groped for a flashlight, cursing my rotten luck. The operator finally answered, but the relief was short-lived as I realized I had lost the signal. No power, no Wi-Fi, no landline, and a spotty cell signal at best. Great! As I found the flashlight and flicked it on, a sense of dread washed over me. I was trapped in my own home, hunted by an intruder in the pitch black. Every second, the terror seeped deeper into my bones. I knew I had to act fast. I locked every door, barricaded the entrance, even armed myself with a baseball bat, my heart pounding like a jackhammer. I was ready for a fight. But I didn't know what I was up against, not yet. The real horror was just beginning. Little did I know, it was going to be the longest, most terrifying night of my life. My breaths came shallow and fast, the silence of the house heavy around me. There was a lurking presence, a sickening feeling that I wasn't alone anymore. Straining my ears, I listened for the telltale signs of an intruder, the soft crunch of boots on carpet, a hitched breath, anything. Suddenly, a thump echoed from upstairs. My heart nearly leapt out of my chest as I pointed the flashlight towards the ceiling. The quiet shuffling noises confirmed my worst fears. The intruder was inside. Get it together, Dan, I whispered, swallowing the lump in my throat. My every instinct screamed to bolt, to get the hell out of there, but I was cornered. I had no other choice but to confront this faceless menace. I took each step carefully, praying the old wooden stairs wouldn't betray me with a squeak. As I neared the landing, a door creaked open followed by a soft giggle. It was childlike, innocent, but in the thick, tense air, it sounded downright menacing. Goosebumps erupted on my skin as I recognized the room. It was my old bedroom. The door was ajar, and I could see my old childhood belongings scattered around. The once comforting familiarity now turned alien and hostile. I pushed the door fully open, and my blood ran cold. Drawings were pinned haphazardly to the walls, but not my drawings. Crudely sketched figures with eerie smiles stared back at me. I staggered back, the shock twisting my gut. The intruder had been in my house, maybe for hours, rummaging through my things. Suddenly, the giggle sounded again, closer this time. I whipped around, my heart hammering in my chest. The corridor was empty, but I could feel it. A cold, predatory gaze fixated on me, studying me. I retreated downstairs, trying to shake off the paralyzing fear. The intruder was playing a sick game, toying with me, feeding off my terror. I found myself back in the living room, the only place where I felt remotely safe. I sat down on the couch, clutching the baseball bat tightly, the cold metal somewhat comforting. A soft tapping at the front door interrupted my thoughts. I froze, barely daring to breathe. The tapping grew louder, more insistent, morphing into a harsh, relentless pounding that echoed through the silent house. I clung to the baseball bat, my lifeline, and waited. The fear gripped me, and I knew I was falling deeper into the intruder's sinister trap. I had no way out, no way to communicate with the outside world. I was at the mercy of a faceless tormentor who seemed to take pleasure in my growing horror. The night was stretching out endlessly, the darkness closing in around me. The pounding on the door echoed in my ears, my heart hammering in sync with the relentless sound. I was no longer alone. My tormentor was closing in, his actions growing more sinister by the second. I was in deep, way too deep. Suddenly, the pounding ceased, replaced by a silence so loud it was deafening. I strained to hear anything. The rustling of clothes, the soft pad of footsteps, but there was nothing. It was like the whole world was holding its breath, waiting for the next horrific event. A sharp squeal cut through the silence, the unmistakable sound of a window sliding open. My blood ran cold. The intruder was making his move. Clutching the baseball bat, I slipped off the couch, trying to make as little noise as possible. The squealing stopped abruptly, followed by the soft thud of boots on the wooden floor. He was inside, finally revealing himself. I crept towards the sound, my mind racing. It was now or never. I had to confront him, fight him off, do whatever it took to survive this nightmare. I reached the entryway and saw him, a large, hulking figure standing in the shadows, his features obscured. He was bigger than I'd imagined, imposing and threatening. His laugh echoed through the room, a deep, grating sound that sent shivers down my spine. He moved closer, the moonlight revealing a twisted smile on his face. My stomach churned, the fear threatening to consume me. He lunged at me, and I swung the bat with all my might. The bat connected with a sickening thud. The intruder staggered, a low groan escaping his lips. I hit him again, knocking him off balance. I could see the shock on his face, the surprise at my retaliation. I didn't give him a chance to recover. I ran, my only thought to escape this hellhole. I burst through the front door, the cool night air filling my lungs. I didn't dare look back, praying that the intruder was still incapacitated. I ran until my legs gave out, collapsing onto a neighbor's front yard. Gasping for breath, I banged on their door, relief washing over me as lights flickered on inside. The police arrived within minutes, their blue lights casting eerie shadows around my house. They found the intruder unconscious, my old football still lying forgotten in the yard. It was over, the longest night of my life finally coming to an end, but as I watched them load the intruder into the back of the police car, I felt a chill run down my spine. The officer turned to me, his face pale. "Son," he said, his voice trembling, "we found more drawings upstairs. The same creepy figures on the wall. But they weren't there when you left the house. They appeared after." I felt the blood drain from my face. The intruder had been incapacitated, and I'd been with the police. Who, then, had been in my house? I thought the nightmare was over, but the horrifying realization hit me like a punch to the gut. My ordeal was far from over. I was still trapped in this living nightmare. The fear, the terror, the uncertainty, it was all just beginning. And this time, I had no idea what I was up against.